a black waitress humiliated by a billionaire woman forced to play piano for laughs. Until her talent stuns everyone silent, what really went down? Stick around to find out, but first, let me know, where are you listening from? What city's tuning in? I'm curious how far this story's traveled, and hey, if you love a good twist, hit that like button and subscribe so I can bring you more incredible tales every day. No waiting, let's jump right in. It's a warm Friday evening in March 2025, and we're inside the Velvet Rose, a high-end restaurant nestled in the heart of Charlotte, North Carolina. The place is alive with energy. Glasses clinking, servers weaving between tables, the low hum of conversation from well-dressed diners filling the air. In the corner, a grand piano sits quietly. For now. But trust me, it's about to become the center of attention. Enter Jasmine Carter. She's 25, a black waitress with a quiet confidence. Always moving fast, balancing trays with ease, flashing polite smiles. To most of the people enjoying their overpriced dinners, she's just another part of the backdrop, another face in a crisp uniform. But if you look closely, there's something in her eyes, a spark, something deep and alive, though no one really notices. Yet, Jasmine isn't here because she loves waiting tables. This is just the job that pays the bills. Her real passion? Music, specifically the piano. Ever since she was a kid, it's been her escape, her way of pouring out every emotion she's ever felt. Joy, pain, dreams she's still chasing. Her sights are set on the Charlotte Music Institute, but that road is long, and for now she's stuck serving steak and wine to make it happen. Not many people know what she's capable of, maybe a few of the staff. Every now and then, on a rare break, they've caught her sneaking into the back room, playing a few quiet notes on the old upright piano the restaurant keeps stashed away. She never talks about it. She just keeps her head down and works. But tonight is different. That grand piano out front, it's calling her name, even if she doesn't realize it yet. And when Victoria Blackwell walks through that door, everything is about to change. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. For now, just picture Jasmine gliding through the crowd, steady as ever, with no idea that in just a moment, her whole world is about to shift. Now, let's meet the other half of this story. The door to the Velvet Rose swings open, and in walks Victoria Blackwell, a billionaire, a tech mogul, a woman with more money than most people can even imagine, and she knows it. She strides in like she owns the place because honestly, if she wanted to, she probably could. Victoria has a sharp-edged confidence, the kind that turns heads the moment she steps into a room. She's flanked by a small entourage, sleek, polished friends who hang on her every word, laughing at the right moments, nodding in agreement. She's the kind of person you can't ignore. Tall, commanding, with a voice that slices through the air and a reputation that precedes her. She's famous for her razor-sharp wit, for turning everything into a performance. If there's a button to push, she'll push it just to see what happens. The staff at the Velvet Rose knows her type. The second she steps inside, the atmosphere shifts. Servers stand a little straighter. Managers hover just a bit closer. She's not an easy guest. She's the kind who'll send back a perfectly cooked dish just to watch someone scramble, or drop a comment loud enough to turn every head in the room. Her friends exchange smirks, already in on whatever game she's planning to play tonight. And then her eyes land on Jasmine. Jasmine's just doing her job. Refilling glasses, clearing plates, keeping things running smoothly. She feels Victoria's gaze on her, this heavy, calculating look. But she shakes it off. To her, Victoria is just another table in a long shift, maybe a big tip if she's lucky. What she doesn't see is the smirk curling at the corner of Victoria's lips. She doesn't notice the way the billionaire leans in to whisper something to her crew. For Jasmine, it's business as usual, but for Victoria, oh, she's already decided tonight Jasmine isn't just a waitress. She's the entertainment, and Victoria is going to make sure everyone in that room knows it. This isn't going to be a quiet night, not by a long shot. Let's take a step back for a moment, because there's so much more to Jasmine Carter than a waitress uniform. She grew up in a small town in South Carolina, the kind of place where big dreams felt a million miles away. It was just her mom, and her two younger siblings, scraping by in a house that always seemed too small. Her mom was a nurse, pulling double shifts to keep food on the table. Coming home exhausted but never without a smile for her kids. Money was tight, but music was free. They had this old stack of vinyl records, Aretha, Billie Holiday, some scratched-up gospel albums, and a beat-up piano, a gift from a neighbor when Jasmine was 6. It was out of tune, missing a key or two, but to her it was magic. She taught herself to play. While other kids ran outside, Jasmine stayed in, mimicking songs from the radio, her little fingers fumbling until they found the right notes. Before long, she was digging through second-hand music books, tackling Chopin and Beethoven like puzzles she had to solve. She got good, really good. She played at church on Sundays, at school recitals, at community fairs, where people would whisper about the girl with something special. But talent doesn't pay the rent. By 18, reality hit hard. The scholarships didn't come through, and her mom couldn't carry the family alone. So Jasmine boxed up her dreams, concert halls, music schools, all of it. She had to work, had to help, had to be practical, but the piano never left her. It stayed in her bones, just waiting. A few years ago, she moved to Charlotte searching for something better. She ended up at the Velvet Rose, not just for the decent pay, but because of that grand piano in the corner. She didn't get to play it much. Her job was trays and tips, not music, but just knowing it was there, gleaming under the lights, kept her connected to the part of herself she refused to lose. It was like a promise to her younger self. One day she'd get back to it. For now, though, it's late nights and sore feet, saving every extra dime for the Charlotte Music Institute. That's Jasmine's quiet, steady, carrying a fire no one sees. But tonight, with Victoria Blackwell watching her every move, that fire is about to get a spark. The night rolls on at the Velvet Rose, and Jasmine's in her rhythm, darting between tables, keeping everything moving smoothly. The room hums with laughter, the clink of silverware, the usual Friday night energy. She's been avoiding Victoria Blackwell's table as much as possible. Something about that woman feels off, not just rude, but like she's got an agenda. Victoria is holding court, her voice slicing through the chatter as she regales her crew with loud, self-assured stories about her latest tech deals. She talks like she wants every head in the room to turn. Her friends laugh on cue, but the other diners, they're starting to exchange annoyed glances. Jasmine stays locked into her work, refilling water glasses, clearing plates, treating it like just another shift. And then it happens. She's bringing a bottle of wine to Victoria's table when the billionaire suddenly locks eyes with her. "Jasmine, huh?" Victoria glances at her name tag, her tone edged with something sharp. Sounds like someone with secrets. Jasmine stiffens for just a second. She's used to customers being nosy, but this feels different. Still, she stays polite. "I play piano sometimes," she says. Simple, quiet, hoping to move on. Big mistake. Victoria's face lights up like she's just found a new toy. "A pianist?" She leans forward, eyes gleaming. "How fascinating. Why don't you prove it? That piano's sitting right there. Give us a little show." The air shifts. Jasmine freezes, bottle still in hand. The room doesn't go silent. Not yet. But Victoria's words hang there, heavy. "Oh, I couldn't," Jasmine says quickly, forcing a small laugh. "I'm just here to work tonight." But Victoria's not letting it go. "Nonsense," she booms, loud enough that heads start turning. "Come on, don't be shy. A real star wouldn't hide from a crowd like this." Her friends chuckle, egging her on, and now people are looking curious, waiting. Jasmine's chest tightens. She can feel every stare, like a spotlight she never asked for. "I really shouldn't," she tries again, glancing around. But no one steps in, not her co-workers, not the manager lurking nearby. Victoria leans back, swirling her wine, smug and amused. "Oh, I get it," she says, voice dripping with fake pity. "Lots of talk, no real talent. That's a shame." It's a jab, sharp and personal, and it lands. Jasmine's hands curl at her sides. She's not one to snap back, she's too steady for that. But those words, they cut. And Victoria just sits there, waiting, daring her to do something about it. The whole room is watching now, and Jasmine is caught right in the middle. Here's where everything pivots. Victoria's words. Lots of talk, no real talent. They hang in the air like a slap, and suddenly Jasmine is standing there, frozen in the middle of the velvet rows, with every eye on her. That smug grin on Victoria's face, the snickers from her crew, the curious stares from the other diners, it all presses down, daring her to break. She's never been a fighter, never the type to snap back. She's spent her life staying steady, pushing through, keeping her head down. But this cuts deeper than she expected. It's not just about the piano, it's about everything. It's about who she is, what she's fought for, what she refuses to be dismissed as. And then her mother's voice drifts into her mind. Don't let anyone shrink you, Jasmine. You're bigger than they'll ever know. She pauses. The room is buzzing, waiting, and her gaze flicks to that grand piano in the corner. It's gleaming under the lights, silent, like it's been waiting for her all along. Victoria is still smirking, sipping her wine like she's already won. Her friends are whispering, chuckling, feeding off the moment. Jasmine's hands are clenched, her heart pounding. She knows she could walk away, say no, let it blow over, go back to work. But those words, no real talent, keep echoing, and something inside her shifts. She's tired of being small, tired of hiding. Against every ounce of her better judgment, she makes a choice. Fine, she says. Her voice is low, steady, slicing through the hum of the restaurant. I'll play. For a split second, Victoria's eyebrows shoot up, surprised, but then that grin widens, like she's still in control. Her crew leans in, eyes glinting, ready for a joke, a flop, their next big laugh. The other diners shift in their seats, some leaning closer, some whispering, all of them caught in the moment, waiting to see what happens next. Jasmine sets the wine bottle down, slow, deliberate, and starts walking. Each step feels heavy, like she's carrying every doubt, every fear, every late night spent dreaming of this. But there's something else, too. Defiance. A quiet fire she's kept buried too long. She reaches the piano. The room bristles around her as she sits down on the bench. Her hands hover over the keys, trembling just a little. Victoria is watching, arms crossed, her expression expectant, amused, like she's about to judge a circus act. But Jasmine? She's not thinking about Victoria anymore, not really. This isn't about Victoria's game. It's about something bigger, something Jasmine has carried with her since she was 6 years old, and now, ready or not, she's about to let it out. And now, the moment everything changes, Jasmine sits at the grand piano, the room holding its breath around her. The chandelier overhead casts a soft glow, like she's the only thing that matters right now. Her fingers tremble as they hover over the keys, cool, smooth, waiting. Back at her table, Victoria leans back, smug and satisfied, like she's just set up a show she's about to tear apart. Her crew is watching, smirking, waiting for the joke to land. But Jasmine shuts her eyes, just for a second. She breathes, tries to quiet the storm in her chest. Her heart is pounding so hard she can barely think. This isn't a cozy church gig. This isn't a school recital. This feels like a battlefield, and she's walking into it alone. Then she starts. Her hands press down and the first notes emerge. Soft, fragile, like they might break apart. It's Clair de Lune, Debussy's masterpiece, soulful, haunting. A chair scrapes, someone clears their throat, but Jasmine doesn't hear it. She leans in, the music grows, those shaky notes steady, then bloom, spreading through the air like something alive. Her fingers move faster, smoother, like they've known these keys forever. Because they have. This is her story spilling out. Every late night on that rickety piano, every shift her mother worked to keep her going, every dream she's had to tuck away. The melody is delicate but strong, carrying all of it, joy, struggle, hope. And the room, it changes. The hum of conversation fades, swallowed by the music. People stop eating, stop talking. They just listen. Victoria leans toward her friends, whispering, but even she trails off. Her smirk slips. Jasmine doesn't see it. She's lost in it now, Her hands dance across the keys, pulling out notes so raw, so real, they feel like they're painting the air. This isn't just music, it's her. For the first time in years, she's not a waitress, she's not a dreamer stuck in limbo. She's an artist. And it's pouring out of her like it's been locked away for too long. The piece builds, soars, rising higher. Then, the final chord, it rings out sharp, clear, and for a moment, nothing, just silence, thick, heavy. Jasmine sits there, hands still on the keys, frozen, waiting. Then, it breaks. The room erupts into applause, loud, real, crashing through the quiet. People clap, hard. Some even stand, their hands coming together like they can't help it. Her co-workers, watching from the edges, join in, grinning like they've known all along. Jasmine blinks, stunned as the sound washes over her. Warm, alive. And Victoria, she's still seated. Clapping, slow. Her expression, shock, and something else. Maybe discomfort. That smug grin, gone. Her hollow applause can't touch what's happening, because Jasmine has taken the room. And nobody, not even a billionaire, can take that back. The applause still echoes through the velvet rows as Jasmine pulls herself together. She rises from the piano bench, legs shaky but back straight, like something inside her has just clicked into place. The room is alive, still buzzing with energy. Diners clap, smile, some even wipe their eyes, caught off guard by how much they felt. Her co-workers stand at the edges, beaming, nodding, like they've known all along. Jasmine takes it in, not with pride, but relief. Like she's just exhaled a breath she's been holding forever. She acknowledges the loudest clappers with a small, careful smile. It's not cocky, it's peace. She doesn't look at Victoria right away. She's soaking in this moment, seeing these people not as customers, but as witnesses to something real. Then, her eyes drift to Victoria's table. The billionaire sits rigid, hands clasped on the table, that smug mask nowhere to be found. Her face is blank, stiff, like she's deciding whether to own this or brush it off. Then, "Well," she says, voice cutting through the fading cheers. "That was unexpected." She lets out a thin laugh, hollow, missing its usual bite. Her friends shift in their seats, glancing at each other, unsure if they're supposed to laugh along. Jasmine just tilts her head, watching, letting the silence do the work. Victoria's words hang there, limp, a peace offering nobody asked for. "Thank you," Jasmine says, steady, calm, no edge in her voice, but no warmth either. She's not playing Victoria's game anymore. Victoria clears her throat, fidgeting with her wine glass like she needs something to do with her hands. "You've got quite a gift," she adds, grudging, like the words pain her to say. Jasmine nods once, holds her gaze. "Then everyone has a gift," she says, slow, deliberate. "It's how you use it that matters. It's quiet, but it lands like a stone. Simple, true, sharp enough to make Victoria flinch. The room feels it. That ripple of something bigger." Victoria shifts again, her usual confidence crumbling by the second. She waves for another drink, trying to play it cool. But it's too late. The diners turn back to their meals, conversation picking up again. But it's different now. There's an undercurrent of respect floating through the room. All because of Jasmine. She's not just the waitress anymore. Victoria's little spectacle? It backfired. And everyone knows it. She's not just embarrassed, she's exposed. And all the money in the world can't cover that up. The night keeps moving at the velvet rose, but it's not the same anymore. Jasmine steps away from the piano, that heavy moment still sitting in her chest, and heads back to her station. Her co-workers greet her with quiet smiles, small nods that say they're proud without making a fuss. She's still got tables to serve, plates to clear, but something's different now. She walks taller, her steps are more sure. And the diners? They can't stop talking about her. As she refills glasses, an older woman gently takes her arm. "You're incredible," she says. "I've never heard anything so moving. Don't give up." A man at another table chimes in, "You've got something special. Don't let anyone tell you different." Jasmine just nods, thanks them softly. But inside, Her heart swells. These aren't just kind words, they're fuel, lighting up something she's kept dim for too long. Over at Victoria's table, a different story. The Billionaire's crew has gone quiet, the loud laughs from earlier gone. Now they avoid Jasmine's eyes, picking at their food, their whole energy deflated. And Victoria? She sits there, stiff, trying to hold on to whatever's left of her control. When Jasmine drops off the check, Victoria finally looks up, her face caught somewhere between annoyed and impressed. "You've made your point," she snaps, voice tight. Jasmine pauses, meeting her stare. "It was never about proving anything to you," she says, calm but firm. "I just wanted to play." Victoria has nothing to say to that. She fumbles with her glass, her big presence shrinking fast. One of her friends, a younger guy with a softer edge, catches Jasmine before she walks off. "You were amazing. Really." It's genuine. And for a second, Jasmine sees something human in that group she'd already written off. The night wraps up. Victoria's group heads out. No grand exit, just a quick, awkward shuffle to the door. Jasmine watches them go. Not smug, not bitter, just done. And the tips that night? Unusually big. Enough to cover her rent, enough to finally pay for those piano lessons she's been putting off. As she locks up and steps into the night, the cool air hits her face, and for the first time in years, she feels lighter. Each step has purpose now. She's not just a waitress scraping by, not just a dreamer stuck waiting. She's an artist, and tonight proved it. Not to Victoria, not to the room, to herself. And that's what matters. Later that night, Jasmine's back in her small Charlotte apartment, sitting at her old upright piano. It's not as fancy as the one at the Velvet Rose. The keys stick a little, the sound is worn, but it's hers. She runs her fingers over the keys, playing something soft, and it hits her. Tonight wasn't just about winning a standoff with Victoria Blackwell. It was bigger. For years she's kept her talent quiet, tucked behind doubts, behind bills, behind fear that she wasn't enough. But now she sees it clear. She doesn't have to hide anymore. What she has, it's real. And it's enough. Then the ripple effect. Word spreads fast. Diners tell their friends, and a few days later, Jasmine gets a call. A music producer from Nashville was there that night. He's not promising the world, just a shot. A chance to record a demo, a first step. And Jasmine? She says yes. Not because she thinks it's instant stardom, but because it's a door cracking open, and she's not afraid to walk through it anymore. The real win, that moment with Victoria, that push that could have broken her, it didn't. It woke her up. She's spent too long letting fear whisper that she's not enough, that her dreams are too big. But now she knows. Her strength is in her grit, in staying true to herself. And Victoria Blackwell? She's just a symbol now, a reminder of every loud voice that's ever tried to shrink Jasmine. Every doubt she's faced, but Jasmine silenced her, not with a fight, with the pure truth of her music. And now, to you. That's the real power here, not money, not status, but knowing who you are and letting it shine, no matter who's trying to dim it. So, what about you? What dream have you been holding back? Because of fear? Because of some Victoria in your life telling you it's not worth it? Don't wait for the push. Jasmine didn't need Victoria to prove her worth. She just needed to play. And you don't need permission either. Take your step. Right now. That's Jasmine Carter's story, a reminder that resilience and authenticity outlast any doubter. If it hit you, stick around. Subscribe for more stories like this, where everyday people turn the tables and find their light. And who knows, your story might be the next one we tell.